Hey y'all. So my next challenge has finally come to me. The last challenges I posted about asking what you'd like to see me do after I finished the last two, which I was doing simultaneously, and I thought that I would start another one right away, and then, to be totally honest, I hate that expression, like, especially for me. It's like I'm always striving to be totally honest. So, scratch that or whatever. So, in full disclosure, totally honest, whatever, okay, move on, Kim. When I finished those challenges, I actually had an emotional. It was intense for me. It always is, and this time it just felt a little like I'm realizing I'm not ready to talk about this right now. All right, keep going. I'm not gonna let myself stop. So, okay. The last two challenges I did were 30 Days of Body and 30 Days of Sunset. And the 30 Days of Sunset was not of any particular place for disagreement, so to speak. And then the 30 Days of Body kind of was. And so I was already pretty vulnerable because I was sharing about stuff, and some things that bothered me and sarcasm and some other things came up. And then the biggest thing that came up for me in that challenge was how we let each other off the hook when we talk about, like, if someone says that they aren't going to do something or whatever. So it was already a little bit more vulnerable than, I feel like I'm always in a vulnerable state, but that particular challenge was a little bit more than even like baseline. So when I finished, I think I was already pushed or challenged, which is the point, but I was already at this heightened place. And then I opened up the door, which my door is always open for questions and engagement, because that's part of what I really enjoy and purpose of when I do this. But then I did even more, and I asked a question inviting you to tell me what you'd like to see me do. And you know me, I'm like so specific with my words. And so my question was, what would you like to see me do? It wasn't like, what should my next challenge be? And those are clearly nuanced statements, but to me it was very specific. What would you like to see me do? And I wanted to see what the responses were. And it was challenging to, I even had doubt before I posted the question, and I shared that with you as part of that post. But basically, what I feared would happen did happen. Meaning, I got sarcastic remarks, I got some mean, what I experienced as unkind or not nice remarks, and basically, and then that inspired my thought to share my thoughts, which had been accumulating and developing over time around sarcasm. And so I finally expressed that for the first time in a bigger way. And so the combination of those things just, it was a lot. It was a lot of information, and I had opened myself up to a lot of feedback, or that's what it felt like to me. And it, I started to share this with some of my close friends, or who I talk to about stuff like this. Some of the responses I got were, well, maybe you learned this time that was too much, and me, and the two is bullshit. So I wasn't relating to that. I don't think it was too much. It was just a place to observe how I felt, how I was responding, where I felt offended, why I felt offended. And if I practice what I believe, which when I am triggered or in an emotional state or hurt or offended or whatever, I'm human too, obviously. And I can feel offended, get defensive, feel sad and unliked and all these things. So some of the comments just, I think, and because I engage so much and I want to engage, meaning like I'll have a conversation with, you know, any conversation, it took a lot of energy. And so all that is just kind of to lay the land that I wasn't ready to start another challenge. And I think it partly was because of that. Like, I needed some recovery time. And I don't even like recovery because it means like you recover to a previous state. And I'm not going to a previous state. I'm just, you know, getting energy, replenishing energy. And I needed to get my state back on, you know, up to the level that I want it to be, because some of the comments I got were hard. So anyway, I'll go into that later because I would like to, and I'd like to share more about that. But the point that I wanted to share here was why I didn't start my next challenge right away. And I had a lot of thoughts, and I also knew that I was going to be traveling a lot, so I wanted to do a challenge that I knew that I could do while I was traveling. And I thought about like which of the suggestions resonated with me the most, and I had this huge list which I loved, and I want to share all that stuff also. But this particular message is because I have decided what my next 30-day challenge is going to be. And the cool thing is it basically came to me yesterday, and it just like showed up in a big way that feels really clear to me. And ironically, it's going to be really hard for me to, I think, express it, because, so here's the deal. I identify as approaching my 30th birthday. I was having, you know, I guess it's kind of cliche or common for people to have midlife crisis or whatever, like the shit is that you have before a milestone birthday. And so approaching my 30th birthday, I was having a big event, like, and myself, and that was the catalyst for, I basically changed my life. Like, the couple months leading up to my birthday, the way I feel the story is, I woke up one day and I like just looked around at my life, maybe even literally the room, and I thought, this is not my life. Like, this is not what I imagined my life to be. And that was it. Like, I changed it, and I don't remember having this big like premeditated plan or any of these things. I just woke up one day, I'm like, this is not my fucking life. And somehow I had whatever it was in me that put me on this path that I have now been on for 5 years. And I've started to slowly realize that over the last couple of weeks, I think that, wow, you've been doing this for 5 years. And that feels big and exciting. And I feel so many things about that. And so now I'm having like this 35 milestone moment, because I'm about to be 35. My birthday is coming up in July. And, you know, I'm big about meaning, symbolic and stuff like that. And so I was like, wow, I guess like the 35 is like a half milestone or a mini milestone. And so as I'm leading up to my birthday, I'm thinking all these things about how I want to reflect on the past 5 years and celebrate and set new intentions and all this stuff. And then yesterday I was driving back from Canada, so I was having a great like long road trip, and I love that stuff. And it just like hit me like an obvious aha type thing. And I was like, oh shit, tomorrow is the 4th, and that means it's a month away from your birthday. Doesn't that seem like, you know, to me, I'm like, oh, that's a sign. Like, I realized that it was the 4th before it was the 4th, and your challenge has to start tomorrow. And I thought, my challenge, and this is the part that's hard to describe, my challenge is going to be to basically take the culmination of everything I have learned, especially over the past 5 years. I mean, clearly I learned things before I was approaching turning 30, but this last 5 years has been like, I have been doing some fucking work, like on my soul, on my heart, on my body, my mind, and it's cool, and I'm proud, and and there's still so much I want to do. So I was like, this 30 day, and part of my recent intentions has been do it now, act now, just do it, and like creating more action in my life, because I'm a thinker and I think a lot and I ask questions, and like, and I'm, you know, with me with language, like I'm hesitating to say perfectionist because I've actually kind of eliminated that from my the way I see things. But for the sake of this conversation, like I'm a recovering perfectionist or whatever, and so I'm trying to just do more. And so anyway, this 30 days, okay, so here it is. We're 10 minutes in, and who knows who gets here, because I'm long and verbose, and that's who I am. So the 30-day challenge starts today because it's the 4th, and it's 30 days before it was going to be my 35th birthday. And for the next 30 days, I am going to next level everything I know, everything I practice, everything I do, everything that I think is my best self, my best way of being, my best state. I am committing to doing that at this level and this level for the next 30 days. I'm going to culminate everything that I have been working on, all my inspirations, and I'm going to fucking make it happen. Like now, I'm taking it all to another level, because I want to saturate myself with this intensity of the last 5 years that I have been doing this work, and this work excites me, and my growth and my learning and the sharing it with you excites me. And I'm just gonna take the time, and I'm gonna focus on everything that I want to do. I'm just gonna fucking do it and be intense about it. So a lot of times I'll say it's like on my list, or in my head I'll say it's on my list, like to all the things, these things I want to get done, and they just stay on the list, or you know, intentions or ways of being or states of being that I want to be. I'm sorry I can't explain it better, because my challenges are usually very specific. It's like hike every day. That's clear, right? And then if I have like a conflict or an issue, like then I do my own thing where I create what will be the equivalent if I can't literally do 6 miles up to Maryland Heights or whatever it is. So, but for this, I just feel it, and I'm trying, and I am sharing it with you about what it is, and this is going to be like the most ambiguous, broad thing that I have done as a challenge, and I'm just so fucking excited, because it just feels, I'm just so ready. I don't know. I'm very excited. And I'm gonna share it, and just want to tell you where I'm starting today. So yeah, next 30 days, so all the things, like I have all these people that I appreciate their knowledge and perspective in my head. So like Tony Robbins says, play full out. Grant Cardone says 10x. Things like that. So in my head, I'm thinking next level, 10x, play full out. And to me, because I often don't like to align with like one other person's thing per se. So what does it mean to me? I mean, I'm just going to be an intense motherfucker for the next 30 days, and I'm going to make myself the best self I have been in my life so far as I roll into my 36th year. And you can join me. Do you want to do the challenge with me? You want to do something with me? I have a couple people who are starting challenges this week and next week, and are doing something alongside or differently, but challenge. So if you want to do something, now would be a good time, because I'm going to be super intense, and you'll get a lot of energy from me. And but anyway, if you like these things that I do, follow along, and that's what's up. Ciao for now.